When the clock strikes 12 and the moon's aglow, there's a place you can go where the secrets flow. It's Randy's Life, drama channel calling, true crime tales that leave you enthralling. Spill the tea, she's got hot and piping, every scandalous plot just right for typing, with a witty twist and a clever rhyme. It's Randy's Life, a sparkling time. Oh, it's Randy's Life, where the drama's high, every twist and turn under the starry sky. Crime and gossip blend in a jazzy vibe. Come join the fun, let your spirits fly. From the breaking news to the whispers low, she uncovers it all. The highs and perfect woes with a touch of glam and a hint of sass. It's Randy's Life, where tales amass. Murder mysteries and celebrity feuds, unfolding stories in all their hues. Tune in, relax, and pour some brew. It's Randy's Life, made just for you. In a world of intrigue, she leads the chase with a knowing smile and a touch of grace. No tale too big, no detail slight. It's Randy's Life, your nightly delight. Randy's Life, where the drama's high, every twist and turn under the starry sky. Crime and gossip blend in a jazzy vibe. Come join the fun, let your spirits fly. From the breaking news to the whispers low, she uncovers it all. The highs and perfect woes with a touch of glam and a hint of sass. It's Randy's Life, where tales amass. Murder mysteries and celebrity feuds, unfolding stories in all their hues. Tune in, relax, and pour some brew. It's Randy's Life, made just for you. In a world of intrigue, she leads the chase with a knowing smile and a touch of grace. No tale too big, no detail slight. It's Randy's Life, your nightly delight.
Good morning. Not sure about these people interested to learn. Oh, really? You must be young. This was a big story when I was a kid, and then, well, was I a kid? I don't know. I think I was pretty young when this happened, but I've always found it interesting. And I've said a few times I want to talk about Mary Kay Leturneau, and then got off on other topics. How did everybody sleep last night? Hey, a happy distraction. Serendipity, Bob and Lola, Patricia, Melissa, Linda Newton, good to see y'all. Debbie Johnson, yes, everybody. Pray for Davita. There's wildfires. They're heading her way. Obviously she's scared. I can't imagine. Just pray. Good morning, Ginger. Good to see you. There is, let's see, who put up the video? Florida Gray put up a video about Davita. Yeah. I guess Davita made the video, but Florida Gray shared it out or put it up, and it does. It looks scary, and you can only imagine, if you're the one standing there looking at that. I agree, Pammy. It's scary. And we love Davida around here. She's just a good person and has been treated away, you know. You was in Seattle then too. Hey Dory, good morning. And I know that since this, you know, she's passed away. Mary Kay has. And imagine this kid, he's devastated. Look, I don't even know how old he is now. And I know that they were split up. I don't think they were divorced, but they were separated. And but think about a choice. Well, we'll get into it. We're gonna watch an interview with the both of them that actually they made a movie. I mean, there's a Mary Kay Leturneau movie like that was made on Lifetime back when it happened. But on Netflix there is a movie called May December, and that's loosely based on Mary Kay and Billy. So that's kind of what got me back into watching the videos. I watched that movie. The movie's not that great at all. Yeah, the older film was something. Yes. Oh, well, you're right, Smiles. We need to pray for everyone that's affected by the fires. It's hard. It's easy to just focus on one person. But yes, this is going to make me need to search out documentaries. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. I've watched several over the years, but you know, it was such a big deal at the time, and then it became normal. And you know, the way I feel about it, my hypocrite. My husband's 19 years older than me. I also did not meet him when I was 12, so there's that, you know. So, and let's see, what was the age difference? I think she was 35. I'm looking it up. So there was a 22-year age difference. She met him when he was 12. Hey, Carlos, good to see you. Thank you for being here. He was absolutely a child. And I mean, in man years, he was a baby, just a baby. And no offense to the men in here, it does, however, take men a little longer to grow up than women, and that's a fact. So let's get right into the let's see. Get ready, because this is kind of a little bit mind blowing.
Even now, some 2 decades later, you can't help but ask, what was she thinking? What was it that drove schoolteacher Mary Kay Leturneau to begin a secret affair with her 12-year-old student, Vili Falau?
12 years
Mary
old.
said it was true love, but no one else saw it that way. She was jailed twice and even had 2 children to the underage Vili. But
Did y'all remember the first time that they got caught, she got off pretty light. And then she couldn't stay away from him, and then went back to jail and stayed quite a while.
How the relationship endured. Remarkably, they're still together today. Here's Matt Doran.
What about these as parents? You've got some good parents here. I'm trying to work out where the looks come from, whether you've got mum's looks or dad's looks, or it's a mixture of both.
I think
Still
it's a
looks like
good
a
mixture
child.
of both.
Yeah.
For a brief time, this was the most talked about family on earth.
Yeah.
Mary Kay Leturneau made world news when she seduced her 12-year-old student, Billy Falau.
A 35-year-old teacher who had sex with a 13-year-old sixth grader sentenced to 18
Mary
days.
Kay Leturneau, the last person you would suspect of
Gross.
being a molester of children.
Billy is now her husband.
And somehow she wasn't considered a chomo. And I don't remember about, I don't know. She was never considered a chomo, and she was never considered a danger to anyone else. And I'm not saying she was, I don't know.
Then there's their children. Audrey, born while their mother was on trial, and Georgia, born in prison.
Do you kind of understand, what all the furor, all the interest was about at the time?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I understand about it.
I wonder how old their kids are now. Here she goes in court.
It was wrong, and I am sorry.
As we'll see tonight, this is a family still grappling with the truth of what happened more than 2 decades ago. And
Yep,
who
Amy.
was to blame.
No matter, what you might call this relationship, it certainly hasn't been
And this wasn't very long before they separated.
fleeting. How long have you both been married for now?
I think this year was 13. Yeah, 13, and then 2005, 6, 7. Okay, yeah.
About 13 years. I
13
mean,
plus, yeah.
that's quite incredible. Has that time gone quickly?
Is it just me starting off when, hey, KCL, help me, help us all? Yes. She does not seem like the cheese is on the cracker. So she's trying too hard something.
Slowly?
Time kind of just really flies by, actually. Yeah. And you're busy every day, so.
Well, you're busy. You're busy, very, very busy being parents.
Yeah.
I think those years were so, when you're moving through the school years, those went really fast, it seems. I'm like, oh my goodness, weren't they just 6 and 8? Just, I'm like, whoa. And that's what I tell parents, like, it's going.
The look on his face says a lot. Even though when she passed, he just looked wrecked.
To go fast, and it's like every day
Hey,
matters.
burnt hot dog.
And
you know what?
because
I'm so glad you're here. I was just thinking about you last night. Started a text, realized it was midnight, and didn't text. So thank you for being here.
we have friends with children that were once our children's age in grade school and middle school, high school, and now both of our daughters are graduated recently. And it just, especially high school, it seemed to go by very quickly. There was so many involvements, their
Yes.
activities,
Yeah.
and you just like,
She ruined his school years. She ruined his adulthood. She took all that from him. He lost everything, and she always refused to see it. And now you could see this look on his face, like, my whole life has been wrapped around a scandal, this woman, these kids. God bless, I'm not saying you don't love his kids. I'm just saying a 12-year-old cannot be a father to a baby. No.
staying on it, uniforms for this and going from this activity to this activity. And here comes the homecomings, the proms, and it just keeps going and fast. And all of a sudden, what? All of a sudden
They're gone.
no,
Well,
really.
not gone, but-
Well, it's funny you should mention that.
Yeah,
You're
now
on the
you only
cusp
have-
of a big life
And now they only had each other to,
event as parents. Your youngest is preparing to do
Yes,
the
Melissa.
unthinkable and move out, Billy. How are you coping?
It's natural, I guess. I hear like a lot of girls who turn 18, they kind of just leave the nest. And then if you're a guy, you kind of stay in a little longer.
Oh, I think the opposite.
And that's just what I heard.
Oh, I think I think the opposite. But
Mm.
yeah, our daughter was college bound, and now she has a different idea. And so we have to be patient with that. So she was always our youngest. We're going to be patient with that.
I know I was
She
out
wants
when
to
I was
take
16, so
16.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys are a little bit different. A lot of the guys I know, they hang in longer because they get the free rent, you know. But guys are very basic like that.
Well, why not? You get free meal.
I see where
free
you're.
rent.
I see where you're both coming from.
Yeah.
All right.
And girls, they're a little more independent. You know, I mean, a lot of the girls that I knew growing up, they were out of their house when they were 18.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, give me a sense, Philly, if you could, of your upbringing, your
Hey,
childhood.
Ganja.
You come from, fair to say, a very big family.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad was married 5 times, and there's a total of 18 of us.
Well, right, KCL, we always get those crushes, especially on the coaches and stuff at school. But a 12-year-old little boy, that is the time that they think they want. I mean, I can remember such a difference in the boys when we went from elementary to middle school. And back then, middle school was 7th grade. And the boys just being so, for lack of a better word, perverted. And the girls were like, ugh. You know, their hormones are crazy. So who couldn't seduce a 12-year-old? It's the fact that you want to. Ugh.
Siblings. We didn't grow up all together. I grew up with my 4 full-blooded siblings. I eventually met the rest of them when growing up. I still have more to meet, but yeah.
That's that's a sort of a crazy upbringing, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot going on at Christmas or around the family dinner table.
It just stays simple. I mean, not everyone gets a Christmas gift, but yeah, just close relatives, you know.
Yeah. Mary, what about you? What about your background and
Oh,
your
it was
upbringing?
perfect.
Tell me a bit about your family.
All right. So, my father was married once. Just saying. So, where are we going?
And tell me a bit about your father.
What?
I
Hey,
have a
Mama, 4
mother
sons.
my father's passed away.
Me
And
too.
I have 6 siblings.
Was
5 still living.
Was it a Catholic upbringing for you, Mary?
Yes.
And what did that involve? How kind of devout, how traditional was your family in that regard?
For me, it's just a beautiful heritage.
Like all sunshines and roses. Gotta
how
make
I do
him
think of it.
the little.
I just
I didn't like her.
personally, when I've traveled internationally, something about going into a Catholic church.
Yeah, I gotta decide what to fix for the debate because I ain't missing this one.
It's just they're all the same in the sacredness feeling.
Right,
And
Ganja.
it's just I know you're asking what was that like as if there's some uniqueness to being raised Catholic, but
No.
I guess I'm just taking present. How does it feel to have been raised Catholic? It's
Seriously, he just wanted to know about
I
her
think it's
family, like
I just
Billy.
think of it historically because it's not just that I was raised Catholic. It's both of my parents are from a Catholic family and back and back and back and back. So
What,
that's why I
Ganja?
say a heritage. And so when I go into a Catholic church, doesn't matter where it is, it just feels really good. It's like this flooding of my heritage. And I won't say that I am entirely, if someone put a certain doctrine in front of me that was Catholic, said, what do you think of this? It doesn't mean a lot to me. I'm more,
We know.
I shouldn't say it like that. I don't like, I wouldn't say, because that's like rules.
Why
The
can't she just
doctrine
give?
of the Catholic Church, and I'm more,
I'm telling you, this is so frustrating because she can't just give an answer. How was your upbringing? And then he meant, you know, how did the religion fit into what you did? But she cannot give a straight answer. I don't know why.
am appreciative of the roots of the Catholic Church,
Exactly.
which
Burnt hot
is
dog.
really just the core of Christianity. People think there's a difference. Really? No,
And
there
that
is.
could be a
No, there
whole separate
isn't.
lengthy discussion.
No,
that one.
I'm just saying, no, there isn't.
And she
Yeah.
It's,
probably wants it to
uh,
be.
no, I just, uh, I'm not sure what your question was, but I think that you
Right.
think that
Hey, Nana
I
Patty.
think you're asking about certain, if there was a
Hey,
uniqueness.
Emily.
If I think there was a uniqueness.
Let me ask you about you two. When did you first meet Billy?
Meet?
First grade, was
I
it?
met his
Second
brothers and older sister before I met him. So there are 4 in his family. And then the first time I was familiar with the name Billy Fula'au, gosh, I don't know, 1989, 88, not sure.
Was that when you were here, his year 2
He was
teacher?
one of my students back then.
Second
I hardly
grade.
remember. Of course, I remember his name. So, and I knew the
Bullshit, you
Fula'au
can't
family,
remember. Hey, November Rain.
because I knew the other
So good to
siblings.
see you.
So before, and then here came a unique one. So, well, they're all quite unique, as any family, I think, or all the siblings are.
Just say
unique.
he was in
This
second
will be a
grade.
test of your memory, Billy. I mean, you would have been 8 or so back then. Do you have any memory of those years?
Yeah, she does.
He's
I
told
have
me.
like not really like good memories, but some of them are just random, just pretty much random stuff.
What sort of memories?
Like I remember hiding in the closet. There was a closet in
Oh, no.
the classroom, and then me and my friends, we used to be in there hiding in the classroom.
From Mary?
Why don't you
Second
say what you were
grade. Hey,
doing
in
hiding
reality.
in the
We were just
closet?
hiding in the closet.
No, what did you tell me you were doing?
That's weird to talk about right now.
Which only makes me want to know about it even more. Go on, Mary. What was he doing in the closet?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
this
just
is
really-
what you said to me is like, yeah, we'd hide in the closet and we'd hope you'd walk past so we could look under your skirt. I'm like, what the heck? I mean, who's like tells like years later, like, is that what you told? It is what you told me.
Okay. This bothers me because she's making it look like when he was in second grade, he was already attracted to her and this was set in motion. That's what she is doing. She distracts a lot through this. And he realizes, no, nobody cares about this.
Mm-hmm.
So make you feel better.
No,
Do
I'm
you?
just saying.
Do I need to pause for mediation here?
No, I'm just saying it was like, what does he remember? That's what he told me he remembered. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, right.
Wow, I had no idea.
Yeah. There's also like 2 or 3 girls in there that liked me, and I used to get like these weird messages from them, like little notes.
Really?
Oh, that's going to bother
Yeah.
her.
There you
I
go.
thought I was so aware. I had no
Yeah.
idea there were closet. The closet spanned the whole side of this. So it's not
Hey,
like
Dolly. Hey,
just
Peggy.
for the visual.
Thank y'all for coming.
And there were these big, giant, like from bottom to top, the doors. All right.
What attracted you to teaching initially, Mary?
Right, Pammy.
I just found myself. I was originally in the School of Music in college and always had the music background. And I found myself music and dance.
She did, but let's remember, she did pass away with cancer. So, you know, I don't want to be brutal, but like I said, I never liked her. I'm not glad she died or anything like that. But that's, hey, LCW, thank you for being here. You don't remember Mary Kay Leturneau? Oh my. It was a big
I
deal.
found myself in teaching positions, whether it be coaching or choreography, and I just, once I got to college, and as much as I enjoyed it, and I believed that I knew I was good in the arts in that area, and I so enjoyed it. And I thought I might join what's called Kids of the Kingdom, which was part of Disneyland. They traveled and they did dance and singing, music. So I thought, oh yeah, that may be where I'll start, right? And so
Just
far as what would
answer
someone
the
do with the
damn
background in music
question.
and that kind of interest. But when I got to college, I found that I was good.
Is this music or teaching? Are you talking about?
I'm talking about music.
Can I ask
and
about
this is
teaching?
how this is what happened. I found
Look
I
at
was
him. Go for the
an
jugular.
A at teaching. Because even the professors at college, they was like, oh, will you take this group over here? They recognized, and even prior to that, prior to getting to college, I was coaching this and choreography.
She was a
And
predator.
I realized that, you know what? I'm a B in music and dance. I'm a B. Good. That's good. Nothing wrong with a B. But I was an A at teaching, and everybody recognized it. And I soon recognized for myself.
They recognized
really
it and they paid for it.
What made you an A at teaching?
I think just being tuned in to a lot of good listening and being aware. And how about just really making clear what the objective is and setting the goals, adjusting them along the way as the learning or the gaps are showing, knowing how to adjust things and bringing in the resources. And it just was natural, very natural.
Well, I can't
Can
tell.
you remember back, Billy, to being a student? Was Mary a good teacher?
I remember all the kids really tuned into what she was saying. Yeah, I don't really know what to look for and what a good teacher, what a good bad teacher is. For me, a good teacher would keep my attention, and a bad teacher would be someone who talks, where it's like kind of monotone, where it's kind of like, just kind of fall asleep while the teacher's talking, which just happened a lot of times in middle schools.
Well, it's fair to say Mary had your attention, I believe. Yeah. What? This is a tough question. What first attracted you to Mary? Can you remember?
Right, Pammy.
She was pretty, and
he was 12.
And yeah, I think that was it. And then I don't know. I kind of like that she drew a little bit. She taught some art stuff, and I thought that was kind of cool.
He don't know. Hi, Sandy.
In 6th grade, we kind of connected on certain things.
6th grade.
Kind of like saw common views on stuff, life, and
similar interests.
Yeah. So,
Mary, when did you first realize I have feelings for a student?
Ugh. Same, Pammy.
Probably. Well, first of all, he wasn't my student when any feelings. So, which I think is really important.
Okay, no, that's not
here.
Answer the question.
It was very important for here in the United States, in the state of Washington. It was really important for it to be.
I think she did herself no favors with this.
I guess politically, and a lot of legislation, it was important to portray it as if it was a student-teacher relationship, but it really wasn't. So even though once
The way he ate his corn and pizza in lunch and didn't put the corn on the pizza, that was pretty, that turned me on.
On a time, even you ask, well, when did you first? Well, I feel kind of awkward answering that because it's sort of wanting to connect it to this was a student-teacher relationship, and which
It
is
was.
really big in law. And doesn't matter, coach, teacher,
I think she's basically
supervisory.
saying it was like sometime.
It was after. So I am saying that. I was taking college classes for my continuing education, for my certification in teaching. You have to have it every 5 years. You got to update. So, or else they pull your certification. So, and same in a lot of industry.
A lot of good that did you.
Professions. You have to do continuing education. I had classes. He was also in a class at the same college. So for summer. So yes, it was summer school, but it was a class in the summer.
Let me ask you, Villy, in a different way.
So you were
At
his
what
teacher.
point did this morph, I guess, from teacher and former student to boyfriend and girlfriend?
Just a friendship, really. And then during summertime, things just got a little closer, and there was some I don't even know how to say it, dramatic stuff going on, drama.
Really? What?
There was plenty of dramatic stuff going on.
I don't know. There was a lot of things that kind of just led to us kind of connecting on a deeper level, and then it got even more wild, crazy.
And let me translate. She was trauma dumping on him. He had problems at home because he obviously had a rough childhood. And that formed a friendship. Yeah, they did, Sandy.
Once the police found out and her husband found out, and
Oh, yeah, and she was married.
I think at least we spoke to each other as if in that.
Look, anyone that remembers this case, didn't her husband take the kids and move to Alaska? I'm pretty sure that happened back then.
Summer, we felt like it was boyfriend, girlfriend. And that's why, I guess that's what there wasn't a teacher. Well, when you consider we were in the same college, we both took an art class at the same college. And I think it felt really great.
She won't own it.
I'm just saying it felt great because we were so close as friends. And then just to not be his teacher in any capacity and to be friends and to be working on the same projects and just on the same level. It just felt great. And just saying, I don't know what was dramatic going on, but I mean, inside of us, probably, yeah. When things, when we realized, I don't know, you called me your girlfriend.
I did.
Yeah, you did.
It's best not to argue. It's best not to argue, Villy.
No,
This is my experience.
He was 12.
Yeah.
When Mary, did Villy make it clear to you that he was interested in you physically, sexually, I guess? Can you remember that moment? You must remember that moment.
I just
22,
remember,
Sandy.
yes, there was one point, and I said, put that away. I just meant the idea. And there's a story about that. I don't know how much time we have, but.
How did that idea manifest, Villy? What did you say?
I don't want to talk about it.
Oh, I appreciated, this is the wrong word, but there was a moment where he said that he did say he was in love with me. And it scared me.
Why would it scare you?
And
that was before anything physical between you both? He said he was in love?
Here's the thing. I don't believe her at all that it scared her. What it did was it um boosted her ego, her self-esteem, for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like weeks, a month.
I think he did. I think they went to Alaska after all this
Did it
happened.
feel like love to you back then, Billy?
Yeah. I mean, for anyone, yeah. It's what you would, I don't know, for me, yeah. I mean, for anybody, first time, figure out what love is for the first time, that's all you know. So for what I know that it was back then, yeah, I
Motherly love. Bless his heart.
would say that was real love.
I'm trying to take a couple of steps back to when you first made that brave decision to say something to
Ugh.
Mary. Was it initially on a dare or, in front of your mates?
Yes, Sandy.
Yeah, it was actually it started off that way with trying to get closer to her, but that was the reason.
Of which
And-
I knew nothing about.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you're not guilty at all.
So yeah, so that's how her and I started talking, was because there was that bet. And then, later down the road in the relationship, kind of just the bet just wasn't
Hey,
even
Pam.
it hadn't even crossed my mind anymore. So
Yeah.
Wow. So
She doesn't like that.
one thing, and I think this is an answer to your question. It was, and I still think about this moment, and still, because I remember, well, I'm just saying, every time I think about this moment, you remember when you came to me to write, you said, wait, and this was when it was a very, very end of the school year. And
35 years old.
I don't even think school was really, I think it was basically done. Things were closing up, but I was on my way out the door and he said, wait a minute. And he said, how old do you think you're going to be when you die?
Right,
And
Pammy.
I said, I was really excited because I'm going to talk about my grandmother, right? And now I just said my mom's going to live till 100, but my grandmother, which is not even her mother, my father's mother, she really did live to 103. And so I was really excited because he had never asked about my grandmother or any,
And
thing
you know that he
maybe
wasn't
beyond my
asking
parents. And
about
I said,
your grandmother.
well, I'm going to at least be 100 because my grandmother right now is 100. And I'm most like her. And I started talking about how she still teaches piano and she was 100, right? And I was really excited inside that he was interested in, I don't know. I was excited to talk about my grandmother and he cut me off and he said, well, if you're going to be 100, then I'm going to be 80 because I'm not living another day in this world without you. And I just was like, I'm like,
A 12-year-old said
I'm
that.
like,
It's a
Look at the
pretty
look on his
romantic
face.
thing for a teenage boy to say.
Was he
I said, you
13?
just said that to me? But at the time we were just close.
Mhm.
And I was, a little tiny bit of me was like, you just cut me off. I was talking about my grandmother. And I mean, if someone asked you to talk about your grandmother, well, I guess you didn't really ask me. I thought it was an opening to talk about my grandmother, which I was proud to talk about.
If you extrapolate the age forward like that,
The
it
look
makes
on
it
his
sound better,
face.
right? But, back then, 34 and 13, did you have a sense that what you were doing wasn't right?
Hearing him say,
Putting the grandmother aside at just the age.
80 and 100. Well,
What about back then, though, 34 and 13?
I was just thinking about 80 and 100, if you want to know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
No, a part of you was thinking about,
No,
part of you must have been thinking, by all accounts, everyone
Pop
in
and
Des
sass. Hey,
Moines
Mama T.
says you're
Belly.
one of the best teachers going around, a fierce intellect. You must have known, such a smart woman, that something wasn't right about what was going on at that age.
Well, just know that there wasn't any any thought or any idea that something was going to happen. So no, there wasn't a thought about, we were just, even when he said 80 and
I'm
100,
better.
I was just
Mama T.
thinking, you're
Belly.
so right. I don't want to live another day without you either. No, it wasn't a thought of, oh, and we're going to have children and there wasn't a thought like that. It was that type of a closeness that you're so right. I don't want to live another day without you either.
What's fascinating about your relationship is that it has endured. You know, that separates it from anything else
I
that might
told
go
you
in the,
November, right?
what people would call
Yes.
teacher-student space. But I think what I'm trying to get at is a sense of back at the time, at its inception, before this had evolved into something like love. Wasn't this just a physical relationship between a woman and a man, or I should say at that point, a little boy?
Well, you shouldn't say a little boy.
He was
Because-
13.
I know, but you shouldn't
Oh,
say a little
Evelyn, thank you
boy.
for the
Well, a
tip. I just
teenage
saw
girl.
it. Thank you.
Well, some people are incarcerated in this state at age 13 and they're treated as an adult and they're not called little boys and they get a life sentence. So when you put it in that perspective, so it's
I
like,
see.
which angle do you want to come at?
I want to
What,
come at it from the
defensive much?
No, I'll tell you.
No, do you want to know, are you hearing what I'm saying?
I'm hearing what you're saying, but I
So
want to come at
there-
it from this angle. As a 34-year-old woman, did you have any philosophical problems, moral problems with entertaining the idea of a relationship with a 13-year-old boy?
Well, I wasn't entertaining the idea and that's my point.
But,
So-
but you clearly were.
Right.
Eventually, we both.
He was 13.
And did you have any pause at the time thinking, Mary, stay away from him. This isn't right?
What I thought is he doesn't understand that I have 4 children and I have responsibilities. That's the only thing. And you have to keep in mind that now it's 20 years ago. And sure, in the last 10 years, all across the world, the laws have changed and everybody, and you'll even see ever since
Not that long.
Mary Leturneau, ever since, but see, that was 20 years ago. Now everybody has their eyes open and is aware. Surely, I hope every teacher, and forget about even the teacher part, I would hope that every adult that's a female,
What?
regardless of being a teacher, would know after my situation, pay attention. Because there are laws. You might think when you're in a world we were close, and no, we weren't thinking
What?
about those things. No, I wasn't. There were no laws back that there were no situations. And
I'm pretty damn sure there was a law, and that's why you went to jail. I'm just saying. There was a law.
There were laws. There
illuminated-
were laws, Mary.
Oh,
The
there-
law
no,
was
no, no, there weren't.
statutory rape.
Oh.
for males. And if you look
Hey, chickpeas.
historically, it was a male only. And then the laws changed when equality. Let's go, Matt, on this. You want to? Because I'm ready.
Sure.
Okay, so the Equal Rights Amendments from state to state here in the United States, and it even happened over in Australia, New Zealand,
What?
and what's called the Equal Rights Amendment. And what they did is they gender neutraled the laws. Prior to that, it was male only.
Let me look
It was
it
a
up. I think
male
5
only
years.
statutory
maybe.
rape. So when did somebody get on the news and say, hello, world, or hello, New Zealand, hello, or I don't know how you do your states over there. But
She
if they're in
seems like
states,
it in this
nobody
interview.
got on, nobody did a press release here in the state of Washington or in California, where I was from, and said, we have now changed the laws. It is no longer gender specific, a male only. When I grew up, sure, as a teenager, I knew that, if that male, the males knew, because it was a well-known thing, because a lot of dads out there were saying, stay away from the daughters here in this house, because I'll get a shotgun out, because you're older and I can go to the police and it would be called statutory rape. I don't care if you love my daughter. You're 26, you're 30, whatever you are. And my daughter's only 16, 13, 15, whatever.
No remorse.
It was a very
She don't care.
well-known statutory rape was. It was very well known. It didn't matter if there was love. It didn't matter if it was consensual.
What?
And that
Like-
word is there.
Look, listen.
Statutory, meaning it doesn't matter if there's consent.
A 13-year-old boy, who started 12, then he obviously had a birthday, cannot consent. Cannot. Now, it doesn't need to be gender specific. Even though if that was a man, like we, have said throughout here, he would have been under the jail. So
Male only, and it's not until, and if you can look all across any kind of scholastic reading on this that goes historically, and my name will even be there, not until my situation in the law, the conflict in the law,
until you got caught.
So are you saying there was confusion about the law at that time, or that you didn't understand
Nobody
the law?
knew it. Who knew it? Who knew it?
But you knew.
No.
Mary, come on, you knew that it was not right, even if it wasn't black and
Maybe
white.
morally.
If you didn't have the
maybe
statutory
morally,
papers there,
Morally.
you knew.
Morally, is that's what you're saying? Morally.
Morally.
No, I'm saying morally and legally.
Yeah.
Not the legally part, no.
But you are such a smart person.
I don't believe
One,
him.
I'd never even been in a courtroom. Yes, I am a smart person, but I'm like
Hey, voices.
hyper-focused in my areas.
So you're saying, Matt, I'm a smart person. I'm revered as a teacher, but I just didn't know it wasn't right as a 34-year-old to be with a 13-year-old?
Yeah,
Sorry, I
Not
just
in,
didn't
a,
know.
not in a criminal sense, but I thought, first of all, you just said teacher again. And
Well, you were
that
his
was your
teacher in
profession.
second
once
grade.
upon a time. Yeah, okay, you keep going back to that.
Not at the same. I'm not saying it
Yeah.
happened then. I'm saying
Yeah.
at one point you were his teacher. Look, I'm not trying to get into semantics over that. I'm just trying to accept. In the end, you stood up in court and pleaded guilty to 2 counts of child rape.
To some elements.
2 counts of child rape.
Well, the only thing that title is a deterrent, and I'm glad it's there.
Are
As a
you?
deterrent. Now I understand the laws in general.
Yeah, but I don't
The
want to talk about the
title.
logistics of the law, Mary. I mean, you stood up and said, yes, I did it. I did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No, I fit the elements that equal guilty to the elements, and we don't have to. If we really
Well,
want
you
to, if
took
you
a
really
plea
want to
bargain.
go into like let's see, where do we want to go on
I
this?
just want to see. I'm trying to get a sense of whether you think you did anything wrong
At the time,
at the time and now.
okay, I want you to also respect one thing. We're married. This is
I appreciate
my
that.
husband. Okay, so when you and we're not like between us, we know what happened at the time, and it's entirely
Yes, Mom. Too.
not appropriate to talk about because we know.
Maybe we move on to
We
the next
know.
question.
No, I'll just.
But isn't it a fair question? I'll ask you too, Villy, and because I don't want to disrespect
Okay,
you guys.
I will say.
Is it a fair question
No.
to ask is it a fair question to ask you both whether you think at the time, Mary, you were doing anything wrong?
If you knew the personal situation with us, and on that side, I wanted everything to go away. I am like a big peacemaker. And I thought, you know what? We're not going to have this go into a trial because that's drama. That brings in my father. It brings in his family.
No, you knew you would
and no
be
matter
convicted.
what personally happened between us, that as far as those moments that changed everything.
Oh, 7.5. I thought it
in
was
those
5.
moments.
7.5. That's
Oh, we know. We know. And the fact that I decided that I, as the adult, was going to make this go away and we would all get on with our lives and that I would get back and not even get back, resume. Like I got some responsibilities to some children and a marriage
6
to resolve.
children.
And for the best of everybody, I said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to stand up and this is going to just the least amount of drama, the least amount of harm.
Mary, I can't accept that. This goes to the heart of the whole story for me. When you say the best for everybody, what I'm trying to ask is whether it was the best for Billy at the time.
Exactly.
I mean, he was a 13-year-old boy. He had a big decision to make.
To be
was
left
it
alone.
the best for everybody, Billy?
To continue it?
You're saying you made a big adult choice, Mary. And I'm not trying to turn this into an adversarial interview. I'm trying to say, when you say you made a big adult choice and made the decision that was best for everyone, was it best for Billy?
Oh, you mean,
To
should I
pursue
have,
this?
okay, so should
I
I
want
have?
if you would appreciate it, I just want to let Billy speak. Can you answer that question, Billy?
Let's clarify the question though.
You
Should I have said not guilty and brought him to trial?
No. Should you have pursued the relationship at all? Should you have walked away?
You're presuming that I
Both of you. It's a question to
pursued
both
it.
of you. You were the adult, Mary.
Okay. But that
You
doesn't
are.
mean the personality makes it
Okay.
so.
Here's a succinct way of saying it, and I appreciate this is a difficult discussion.
Well, I think it's kind of disrespectful that we're married and you're going there.
No, because it's the inception. I just want to get that.
What
I
did
just
she
want to
think the
deal with what
interview was
happened at
going
the
to be
time.
about?
I appreciate that you're married and this is an enduring relationship. I understand that. I'm not saying it was wrong. I'm asking you to answer the critics. Okay, at the time, Billy, you're 13 years old. You're transported back. You can make the decision all over again to pursue this relationship. Do you do it?
Would I do it after knowing my kids now? I think there would be a lot of things that I probably would have changed. I mean, I've looked at it. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. Like, if I was to pursue it, what would have happened? What ifs? And I really don't know. I can't. There was a lot of
You were robbed of your childhood.
complicity of emotions going on with the both of us, her and her personal life
Hey,
and my
Shamat,
personal
love
life.
you.
And I think a lot of those elements kind of brought us together to be where we are today. Was it right? Was it wrong? I don't know. All I know is that it happened, and everything that did happen that
Yes,
we
it
do
did.
speak of, that we felt within our hearts for each other, was real. But in the legal system and for the average normal it is obviously wrong for many reasons. And I
Yes,
respect
I agree, Mama
the
T.
law and the reasons for those laws. And from personal experience and from seeing other people go through it, it is what it is.
Would you say this story, your story, is almost an exception to the law because you fell in love? That makes it all okay?
I wouldn't say it's okay, but I think a lot of it could have been handled a different way. Could have been less stressful on the both of us. When they found out about it, I mean, I'm pretty sure this type of stuff isn't new, and it's gone back ages. But our story was the first one to be publicized, and
I can't imagine how tough it was to live through that for the both of you. The media storm, the court case. What was it like back then in the eye of the storm?
The media, the court. At that time, all I was thinking about through that entire time was how she was doing, and was she okay? And would she be able to get back to her family, her kids?
Wow.
I never really thought about myself. I was more worried about
You really don't
what
when
she
you're
was
that
going to
age.
be doing,
You don't think about
or
your
how she
future and
was
all that.
doing. And I kind of felt like maybe they should have gave us a chance to talk things out or at least work things out. They kind of just cut the contact, between us, and I just think that wasn't right. I think they should have at least maybe supervised visits or something to at least talk things out, or
How?
figure out what's going to go. Considering that she had given birth to my child, and it was it was a real struggle. There was a lot of things I didn't
13
understand at
and
that age.
34, Shamat. Started when he was
I
12,
didn't
though.
know anything about the law. I didn't know anything about raising a family. I didn't know anything about. All I knew was that I loved her. That was it. I didn't know anything. Like I said before, it's basically like anybody who's figuring out love for the first time. Their first taste of it, and that was me. And and then I just think I think a lot of cases just kind of get
Right,
put into
Dolly.
categories, and they see the highlight of it, but they don't really look at the individuals a little more deeply. I think what happened with us was that this is huge. She's a beautiful sixth grade teacher. Her background, her where she comes from, where I come from. They figured, oh, this is a really great story, and they
No.
just ran with it. Was anybody caring for her feelings or my feelings? No, nobody really cared about that. And
I'll agree.
And I'm not trying.
I'll agree that his feelings were absolutely pushed away when it hit. But whenever you do something like that, her feelings, they no longer matter. She got caught with a 13-year-old little boy, 12-year-old, 13-year-old. Her feelings no longer matter after that, Billy. And it's sad that you can't say that now.
Trying to play the victim
Or
here
couldn't say
about
that
any of
then.
it. I just think that it should have. There's a lot of things that could have happened, but they didn't. There's a lot of help that we both could have gotten that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Have you at any point, Billy, felt like a victim? People like to call you a victim.
Well, growing up, I've always had people telling me that's not really how I feel. That oh, she made you feel that way. So I was always getting that. So now that I'm older and I've grown up and I've been through so many experiences, I know my feelings. I know who I am. I know who I am as a person. I know, and I love every little thing about me. And
Good.
I wouldn't change who I am and all my experiences that I've come through in life that brought me here. It's been a ride for sure.
Absolutely not, Emily Hansen.
And I think there is always going to be critics, out there. A lot of people that just wouldn't understand. I for one can't, being 35 and looking back, like switching the roles. I for one couldn't do that. When I look at it, after even raising my own kids and looking back at it, I was like, I for sure couldn't do it.
What do you mean by couldn't do that?
Just from knowing everything that I know now, I couldn't, even without knowing, and seeing a 13-year-old, now, me being 35, I couldn't like look at a girl that young romantically.
Is that hard to hear, Mary?
Oh, I don't relate that to our situation.
But it's the exact same situation in reverse.
No, it isn't. That's no.
But
Things
it is.
things that are not actually the same should not be treated as if they are. But that's from the United States Supreme Court, by the way.
It doesn't even cross my mind.
Guess what? It doesn't. Guess what? It doesn't cross my mind, and it never did. So I would never.
What do you mean it never did? It did.
When I didn't pursue it, but stop, Matt, please.
In her defense,
Stop.
the entire time when the relationship.
I never pursued it. I never thought about it, and it's never.
Good
crossed
day,
my
Simon.
mind in
Well said.
Of course, it's like I'm not saying there aren't the reason there's deterrent title like that is because maybe there are people that a male that might even consider
I
it.
would say there are people out there.
There might be, and
there are definitely. I mean, for us,
good reason. There's the law is
I mean, there
there.
could
I'm
even
right
be
with
a
it.
guy that's my age that finds a 13-year-old attractive, and that
Right.
I don't know. Just for me, I couldn't do it.
I don't, and he doesn't. We're saying neither of us think that way, but we're both happy that there's such a law
But
that's
Mary,
there.
you see what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to cause an argument here. When you were 34, you did think that way, and you did do exactly that.
I was pursued, and I didn't think about it.
I was
I did
pursued.
not think about it. Didn't.
But that's not an excuse for any crime, is it? And I'm not saying
No,
this
it's
is.
not.
You can't just go, I didn't think about it. See you
Right,
later. I'm
nosy
sorry.
bitch. Just saw your comment.
Morally, I thought about,
Sorry if I miss any. I'm
you
on
know
the
what?
StreamYard
I'm not
side.
even technically single yet, and he's calling me his girlfriend. And I thought that was, it's like, this is not right. He needs to let me get on with my life, and I'll see you later. I'm not saying that in a cold way. It was breaking my heart to know there were two things. I wanted him to move on in his life and experience everything he needed to, all of his dying pledges of love. And I'm like, you got to go, you got to finish school, you got to do this. He was accepted into an one of the big art academies here already back then. And I wanted him to go experience life. And
I don't believe
I wanted
that.
to raise my children. I didn't expect to get pregnant. Where we were at the time, whatever, I am entirely in support of the laws that are there.
So you're saying you're saying it's night and day, for example, between what you did and the laws that would surround pedophilia.
I'm actually was entirely evaluated probably 3-4 times, and there's not a single trait of anything inside of me that's pretty loud and clear in any document.
That's like
that's a child.
That's
and
like a
he
mental
wasn't-
He
yeah.
was.
imbalance where somebody has like this, like their attraction, what they're attracted to, it kind of stops.
To prepubescent.
No, a child under.
No, prepubescent.
Well, a child, a 13-year-old would qualify.
He wasn't prepubescent.
Does that
He was
make a difference?
Okay, first let's go back.
You ain't gonna own her
How many
shit.
13-year-olds are having sex with 13-year-olds? Plenty across the world, millions and billions.
Not a lot of them are having sex with 34-year-olds.
No, but are they having sex?
It's not relevant.
It's not. It is.
I hope
It's
not. Not at
absolutely relevant.
13.
Are they having sex?
I don't see it as
Are
being
they having
relevant.
sex? Are they having sex?
I'm certain that they are, but how does that relevant
I
to
hope
this case?
not.
They're not children. They're developed. They're not children having sex with children. They're teenagers. They're doing actually really, and scholastically and across the board with even in legislation, they recognize that 13-year-olds are going to have sex.
So should we rip up the laws and say it's a free-for-all, 13-year-olds with whoever they like?
No, because there are cases, and it's called strict liability. There are cases where there could be abuse. There could be. So you have to have a law that acts as a deterrent, because there are people who might pursue and abuse a situation. But when 13-year-olds are with 15-year-olds, with 17-year-olds, with those really, when they're with, it's happening. We all know, everybody knows across the world it's happening. Teenagers, it's natural. There's no laws that are saying teenagers can't do that. They're going to. So you don't say, that pedophilia with pedophilia, that doesn't even make sense.
Hey, He-Man.
It doesn't make sense. There are people that have disorders. The laws have to be there. They absolutely have to be there.
Do you agree, Billy?
Yeah.
Poor Billy.
There are people out there. I mean, I've watched a documentary on pedophilia, or just because I was curious, because being in my situation, I was really curious about it.
As in whether you might have been a victim of pedophilia.
He
Yeah.
was.
So I was like curious to watch it and just listen to what some of these actual people that do have it, what they were talking about, and then these scientists were talking about like their brain, on how their attraction is almost like somebody with I don't know how you call them. You wouldn't call them retards or mentally challenged. I don't know, what do you call them? But they're not fully grown. Like that part of their brain doesn't fully grow, but everything else is growing, just not that part that they're attracted to. Like they could be your best friend, and in their mind, they're probably trying to figure out, why am I attracted to younger age range than
He is.
my own?
Well, I think he's afraid of her
Some of them are
too.
just kind of, it's like a disability, is what you would say.
I can see you bristling at any
Right,
mention
Kat.
of pedophilia in this discussion, Mary. I understand that. Are you saying, what you're saying is that this is a unique case? You've never been attracted to anyone else underage?
Okay, let's just,
Uh-oh.
I hope this is, I want this to be useful to your audience, and I don't think it should be confused and overglossing that term is specific, like as Billy was talking. It has nothing to do with me. One, because he wasn't prepubescent, he wasn't a child, and we have
was a child.
we have to respect the intelligence of your audience.
No, but you've got to, I've got to
they
jump in on their behalf, because when you say he wasn't a child, he was 13.
Stop. Okay, shall we go back to 13-year-olds who are having sex with 13-year-olds?
No. When you say he wasn't a child, that's the only part I'm grappling with.
Okay, if the two 13-year-old teenagers are having sex, do you want to say there's two children having sex? Is that what you would say?
Sure, but then I'd say it's infinitely worse if that 13-year-old has sex with an adult
It
woman.
is true, but we're not, let's not like stray away from, I want to entirely respect the intelligence of your audience. I am offended by the whole line of questioning, because I think on an intellectual level, I don't think you're giving, even to ask the question. I think you're misleading the audience to even, and all y'all, just look up the definition and then say, did he even ask the right question?
So why did you spend 7 years in prison? Why were you sent
We
to
could
prison?
talk for
Ding, ding,
4
ding.
hours and I would be happy to start. And any attorney out there, any legal authority will be right with me on this. It's called a strict liability law. If sexual intercourse happened, no matter if he was the aggressor, no matter if he initiated it, and being the younger, I am the adult, sexual intercourse happened. In our state, there are 3 elements. Sexual intercourse happened, the age difference, and third element, we were not married. What does that say right there? And we were not married. That means if we had been, in theory, if we had been married, no crime.
But you had a
I'm
whole
just
ass
saying.
husband at your
But
house.
there's a reason that 13-year-olds don't marry 34-year-olds. It's just not right.
Right.
Oh, well, it happened in Virginia,
Well,
legally.
so should it be a free-for-all across the states?
No, but it's not entirely, I'm just saying it's a strict liability, but you keep going back to that part, and I went, now, strict liability law means if it happened. It means if, same thing as when an oil company for whatever reason, spills oil into a river. Strict liability. It doesn't matter if it was negligence. It doesn't matter how it happened.
Man.
It happened.
What I'm confused
So
about,
it just happened.
what I'm confused about, Mary, is whether or not you, in your mind, you think you did anything wrong, because you're throwing laws at me and consent and age
But
and
you're
marriage.
giving your audience, you're throwing in these bandwagon
bombs.
terms, and I think it's confusing them.
Okay, can I put all those terms to one side? Did you do anything wrong?
Yes.
I've always said, it was, should I have run from him? I did at
him.
one point say, say, you have to go.
Thank you, He-Man.
I did. I cried harder than, and I didn't know I was pregnant, but I did say, you have to go. Do you
I agree,
understand? You
Lacey.
have to go. It was very hard.
I think legally it was wrong.
Well, we know legally it was wrong.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We
And then
now know that.
Emotionally,
We
and,
now know that.
Emotionally, the connection that we felt for each other. Your answer would be yes or no.
I'm going to be the same as you. I would not take back anything. I'm going to say the same as you. And if I could do something different. One, I don't live a day like that. I do my best every single day. And I can look back and say, Mary, did you do your best every single day? And I'll say, yes.
When you
Every day.
When you send your children off now in the mornings, you say, I love you, do the right
Go
thing.
and do the right thing.
Did you do the right thing?
You know what?
Uh-oh.
I'm not going to continue with you trying to have me answer that question. I told you I did my best every single day, and I lived my life that way, and I did. And in that situation, it doesn't even matter. I did my best. And even that I feel, even at the moment, do I wish I had a different attorney? That's the only thing I can tell you at this point. Should I have had a different attorney?
That speaks
and
volumes.
I say, yes. But at the time, did I make the best choice? He was my neighbor. Was he the best choice for an attorney in this situation? Heck no.
Do you think you were wrongly imprisoned?
Absolutely.
What?
Why?
Because you don't know our story, but we do. We do.
You should never have gone to jail.
If you knew us, and if you knew the intimacies, which guess what, are nobody's business now.
Bye, Sam.
They don't belong. I wouldn't do that to our marriage. I wouldn't go back to that time and put it in a book. I wouldn't have a movie that tried to, the movie out there that is not true. The book out there is not true. Nothing that's ever, it's like, but
I've never heard you say that before, that
Which part?
You shouldn't have gone to prison.
I did the best that I felt
I don't believe
at the
that.
time, the decision that I made. And I tried to take the guilty plea back when I realized I was tricked and coerced into it.
What?
I tried to take it back.
Well, you were
And
guilty,
it was a few
though.
weeks after. And I have said that before. And I think someone can watch some Larry King Live. The problem is that the programs are edited. Anything that we've done, they're edited. People, it's like things are taken out. Nobody wants to hear what really happened with why did I take that guilty plea, and the parts about our intimate relationship and what happened back then.
Well, I'm not asking you about that. I think you'll appreciate, and I'm not prosecuting the case.
No,
I'm not
but
saying
it's
you
like,
did something wrong.
even to say to you, I just know that this whole thing, I just want to tie up and just really wrap up because I feel like it was left loose, is
I want everybody to forget about it.
it's just absurd to think that 13-year-olds are not having sex and they're not pursuing it in a very deliberate, knowing
13-year-old boys,
absurd.
for sure.
Okay, so I just want to say that there are continual scholastic and legal dialogues, committees with psychologists, with legal authorities. They still, to this day, are trying to do their best, combining like all of the layers of how do we manage this? We have to manage teenage pregnancy. How can we best do this? Should we put a strict liability law?
I don't know,
call it
Melissa.
this big
I think
glaring
she's just
word,
really,
put the word
really
rape there
defensive.
so that it at least takes some of the pressure. How can we go after all of it? Because it's rampant. How can we look like what Philly said? How can we look at we can't. The courts don't have time to look at,
Oh, she
well, what were your
remembered her
feelings? What
calm
were your
demeanor.
feelings? Well, did you do this or who did this? And the courts, nobody has the money for that. Strict liability, just no.
I accept it's not black and white. What about your position, Billy? Should Mary have been sent to prison?
Ooh.
I don't think so. I mean, that's from my point of view, from being on the inside and knowing a little more details about everything. You know, me living with, you know, knowing who she was.
How tough were those prison years for you when, I mean, you became a teenage father?
I went in a really deep depression during that time.
Bless
Because of the no contact order. And I was just kind of just left by myself. So I went into a really deep depression and I was getting into trouble, doing a lot of things I wasn't supposed to be doing things, anything that I could possibly get a laugh out of or have some sort of happiness feeling.
Yes,
So I
Lacey.
was doing it all because I was really suffering inside.
How dark was it for you?
I would say it's pretty dark. There's a lot of people I meet now that, you know, they recognize me and they would tell me these stories of how I met them and what we did together. And I was like, wow, like, I'm really sorry. I don't remember any of it.
What was it? Was it the weight of parenthood? Was it missing Mary while she was behind bars?
I believe it was missing Mary. It wasn't just simple as just missing her. It was more of, you know, not being able to talk anything through because I was getting told by a lot of people, what I was feeling, what my feelings were, and what she was to me, and I just knew the truth, you know, of what it was between us, and it was just really hard to
People were giving him
convince
advice,
anyone,
and he didn't want to hear it.
I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, relationships like that are okay. They're not. I would say in our situation and what happened between us, you know, shouldn't have been anybody's business.
What?
Yeah. It wasn't like
Bless
she
your
was
heart.
out, you know, looking out for young boys or anything like that. Yeah, what happened between us was just, it happened. I mean, I can't really say any
Lacey.
negative, or I don't have any negative things
It
to say
just is
about
what it is. It just happened.
Yeah. I mean, when I think about it, I mean, it's almost like just any relationship that just happens. You know, you
Wow.
could be working with somebody for years, and then one day you're just like, wow, I'm in love with this person. And then you guys get together, and then people are sitting there questioning. So you're questioning you, how did you guys fall in love? But the only thing is with people or normal age relationship like that is that they don't get asked, like, do you think it was wrong that you guys fell in love or anything like that? And for our situation, you know, that's one of the things we suffer with in it is being asked these questions, and which has become our life. So for me, I guess I just know how to answer it a little better. I feel better answering it because back then I didn't know how to answer it. But I guess, I don't know. I guess forever in my mind, it's always going to make sense more than it will the other person listening. So,
do you both feel like you're soulmates?
Soulmates could come, you know, anyone.
I don't really like that term.
Are you still in love?
I would say yes.
Uh-oh.
No, I think that marriage
He did not answer. Remember, they got separated very closely after this.
I would say anyone that's married will know there's a labor of love. That term is there for a reason. So in love, I'm pretty scientific.
I would say there's sorry, cutting you off, but I would say there's all kinds of different types of love. You know, I mean, there's people who, I've seen marriages where they make it work. They might have fallen out of love somewhere in the relationship, but they somehow just make it work
too,
for
Peggy.
either it's for the kids or if it has to do with any personal issues that they're having they make it work, and sometimes they fall back in love. Sometimes it doesn't work, and then there's just all, I don't know. I don't want to get into it because there's.
Well, I think that in love is
Agree,
actually,
Evelyn.
if you look scientifically into it, and they came out with some tests.
There'll be true romantics absolutely horrified about
I'm
you
sorry.
bringing science into this.
I'm sorry. The science is that it equates to the same thing that in the brain.
No,
in
darling,
love, and it
no.
only lasts for a little while. I think they say maybe 6 months or maybe a little bit longer, but it's no different how it activates the brain. And it's for a purpose. It acts like cocaine does on the brain. Now, these are new tests. Look it up, everyone. I don't know. I can't name the scientist.
Love, the new cocaine.
I don't think it's really new, but it actually activates the same part of the brain as is cocaine. So it's like being on a drug. And so it does eventually go away. It's supposed to, though.
Not
It's
love.
supposed to bring people together. And so you have that nice high, and you don't notice anything.
Tell me which part of
about
this
the
didn't
person.
scream troubled marriage.
Except, no, everything is perfect, right?
I know
And
every relationship
everything is
in the
perfect.
whole wide world has
Everybody
challenges.
loves the in love.
I'm not asking.
right?
I'm not asking you whether you've had a flawless, perfect relationship, because I know that doesn't exist. I mean, I can't get near it.
Haven't you been in love before?
I have,
Okay,
and I
Melissa.
failed at
Do you know-
every attempt.
No, does it
I
last
have.
for about 6 months?
It lasts for a little bit longer than that.
Okay, a little bit longer, the in love.
But
I just heard about these tests. And I was like, that's so true.
But can I ask you,
that
like,
in love
is it
lasts
the
for-
this is what I'm interested in, is whether you, Mary, you think you're almost in love with, and I don't mean this to sound disrespectful, the idea of being in love, in the sense that if you took love out of the equation, out of this equation, what are you left with? Is it bare criminality, or is it something else?
I love him more today than I did when I was in love and high on whatever drug that someone wants to. I love him
Serotonin
more
is the word
today.
she's
I
looking
hope
for.
everybody in marriage gets there. I hope they get past that place where you say, oh my gosh, I was in love with you once, but now I see all these things, and I don't know. I just
Why couldn't she just say yes or no to the answer?
when I made his when I made his lunch the other day, and
It's funny
told
that
you about it before-
she
before
still
we
gets
met.
up. She still gets up
Before
at
we
3
met.
a.m. She gets up at 3 a.m. and makes your lunch. I find that incredible. I mean,
She's still awake.
well, the other night I was still awake, and I said, I don't want to get up at 6 when he does, so I'm going to make it first. Sometimes it's in the morning, but sometimes it will be, it just depends on my schedule the next day. But
can you give me a bit of a picture of husband and wife? I mean, what's he like as a husband?
Yeah.
oh, now
Probably terrible.
it doesn't.
She's not going to say you're
doesn't-
terrible on
okay,
camera.
You know how he
Just listen closely to this bit.
listen. Do you know how when he said he loves every part of himself?
Yeah.
I do too, even the rotten parts.
What about as parents? I mean, you both seem to me from a distance to be absolutely sensational parents. Is Mary a good mother?
She's a really good mother. Yeah. I think I'm really grateful for a lot of the stuff that she's imprinted in the girls.
Like what?
Just the way, how they treat others, and with their respect for others and other people's things. And yeah, pretty much that.
There's
Their
little.
morals of that stuff.
There's a lot of people, Villy, who
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
survive. The
happens.
relationship wouldn't survive more than 7 years with one partner being in prison. Was it difficult to stay the course?
He didn't.
No. I actually dated while she was in there. I wanted to live my life. I mean, there was no contact. There was a lot that I was going through.
Is that hard to hear, Mary?
Oh, that he dated?
No, we
Oh, no.
had an agreement.
I didn't even.
What was the
well,
agreement?
We did?
Yeah, you were like, go.
Oh, yeah, I knew. He needed
So we had this agreement that she was going to be away for a long time, and I was going to be, not to wait, to just do whatever, whatever's meant to be is going to be.
It was kind of your youth.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
So-
always the intention that he would, but when I was there and you asked me, there wasn't, part of me wasn't believing, and I didn't mind if I felt so fulfilled, and I thought everybody in the world, if once in your life you have what we had back then, the union, no, I was entirely, I thought, I have it for a lifetime. And it didn't matter if we got back together, that you did.
What does the future
don't
look
blame
like
her.
for the both of you? Where does the story of Mary and Billy end?
That Mary does her best every single day. And that's how the story ends.
And for Billy?
I'll go with that.
Well, I think they removed the part where she was saying, who pursued you, pursued me, you pursued me, you pursued me. Let me just see if I can find a clip of that. Because they cut that out of this clip. No, who pursued is what. Oh, here it is. Who's in charge? They cut that out of this. Shame on y'all. Hold on, y'all. Just one second. Let's see. This is short.
You can say that.
I am saying that.
I was by age.
And by
Let's just say
maturity.
You maybe.
You were a teacher, Mary. You
Doesn't
can't say I
matter.
was immature.
But you don't know him.
No, but I don't need to know him in this discussion. He's the child.
Who was
I'm
the
talking
boss?
about you.
Who was the boss? Who was the boss?
What?
Who was the boss back
There
then?
was me pursuing you.
Who was the boss back then?
This is ridiculous.
No,
This
who
is
was?
ridiculous.
Who was? Just say.
Just say.
Who was the boss?
All I knew was what I knew back then.
But who was the boss?
He was 13, Mary.
But who was the boss?
It's just getting weird.
Who was the boss? Who?
I'm pursuing the relationship.
Who was the boss?
Well, I was the pursuer.
Yes.
Mary, even as you're
But-
hearing this now, come on, he was 13.
Doesn't matter.
It absolutely matters.
Oh well, flaw me. Flaw me as an
As an adult?
yes, flaw me. I did the
Yeah.
best I could.
That I was waiting on that part and waiting on that part, and it never came. So, who was the boss? Who was the boss? It won't let you spell lust. They broke up in 2019. It was so uncomfortable, but I saw it, so y'all had to see it. The usual. Oh, Olivia at the dentist. Yay, not. Hope you got some rest. I think she is mentally stunted. I do. I told you. I know, November Rain. I know that's the part that I was waiting on. Just Give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they cut it out. I know, Evelyn, but I'm afraid to play that because I don't think anybody else clipped it. But and Dr. Oz really didn't seem too compassionate towards him, even though we'll say that when Mary was passing away, um, he didn't leave. Him and the kids stayed there with her, and he was with her when she passed. Um, but he was just so upset. But it was really fresh, like she had just passed away, and boom, he was on a talk show. So it probably too soon. Well, and you got to think as soon as she got out of prison, she probably used the girls as an excuse, but she hunted him down. I just think this interview, yeah, a happy distraction. Yeah. They did release it. Um so I don't know what happened. Cuz I've watched the full unedited video. You didn't see that? Yeah, they cut it out. And I think if I'm home Thursday morning, because well, what's today? Tuesday. I think Meech is going to be on it in the morning. He had everybody pray for Meech. He had an interview today, but he's coming on in the morning. And Thursday, I would like to watch a Charles Manson interview. For just reasons. But also, Charlie, I miss you. I know I ain't been feeling well. Honey, I will tell you about it. But I've always found Charles Manson interesting. And now that guy, yeah, Meech. Now that guy that said he was his son, which if he wasn't, he looked just like him. He passed on. You're not on hold right now. What does that mean? It starts the 8th, Ginger. And there's such a big part of me that I want to go to that trial. And I'm trying to debate whether or not I could live in my van. And look, I won't use this term a lot. Will Jim let me? At work, I'm on hold. Oh, I gotcha. Um, but, because I'm not 100%, not afraid. So, but there's plenty of space in the van for me to sleep. There's plenty of things you can get to eat in the van, and I would love to wake up early, get there, stream it somehow from the van. I don't know, and then come out and talk about it. I would love that. So we'll see. Yeah, there's little things that I need. Okay, like one of those things that you plug in, like so you can plug in well, I guess they're called a Yeti, but you can get cheaper ones than that one. And a mattress. Like because they actually make mattresses for you to put in the back of your van. I think I could do it. Where would I sleep though? I mean, where would I park the van to sleep? Right, Dolly. I know nobody would want me to go alone. Someone else told me that too, Sandy, but I kind of would rather be alone right now. I don't know why. Park at a gas station. Oh, it's not a bad idea. And I'm sure Jim don't want to live in the van for a week. You going van life, Randy? I don't know what I'm going to do, Charlie. I don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I have a feeling Jim is. Oh, that's right, Pammy B. Jim is not going to go for it just for safety reasons. But I think that it would be. Where would I be staying? In my van. So we'll see. Oh, for Landry. Okay. A contest kind of. I'll go with. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine meeting for the first time and sleeping in the van together? That ought to go over like a lead balloon. Oh, so he's had another baby. Oh, wow. Thank you for looking that up, Evelyn. See, look, no one knows how long a trial is going to last, but I got 7 days on this one, if that. 5. She's crazy. I don't even want to stay with her. Because it'd be cheaper than a hotel room, Shamat. But the, the, oh, come on. The Sarah Boone trial, which is coming so close. Will she have a lawyer? Won't she have a lawyer? Will he show up? Will she fire him before then? Which I think if she does fire him, she is SOL. Back, I have no idea what that is. Yeah, it's in Florida. Yeah, but will they let you Mothers SOS? I don't know. I don't know. It'll be a good, I'll talk to Jim some more about it. He's got friends in crawl spaces. I don't know if I'm doing it or not. I want to do it, but I do oh, Grandpa at 40. I I think it would be something that it's like a once in a lifetime thing. It's not, I mean, it's a 9-hour drive. It's not that bad. Uh, so we'll see. Not in a million years. Not for free, and not even if it was a mansion, Charlie. I think it would be a great experience too. Will I fail? I don't know. Maybe. We'll just have to wait and see. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off of here. If please hit the thumbs up on your way out. Thank you for my members. Thank you for the tip. And thank y'all just for being here. I appreciate y'all more than you know. Um, if I'm back on today, I will. And there's absolutely Evelyn. And if we have to go on the Rumble, we will. And y'all have a great day. Enjoy your day. On what property? Charlie. What property? All right, I will talk to y'all soon.